this video says, this is a summer reading video. Emily Henry level. Like, it's like top tier banter in this book. Ugh! I relate to Clementine so much. Sit by the water at the springs and I'm gonna read. And I was like, I don't like you either. I think that this video was very successful. It is officially summer, so you know what that means. We are reading rom-coms. This is my TBR for this video. I have 4 books that I want to read. Let's go through them real quick and then we're gonna pick together. Is there a siren or am I hearing things? There's a siren. Please hold. We have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther, 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston, and we have The Catch by Amy Leah. I honestly don't know what book I want to start. It's for sure going to be Just for the Summer or The 7 Year Slip, but I think I'm leaning towards this book because it's a short book and currently in a book slump, so I think we're going to start The 7 Year Slip. Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday morning. It is June 8th, I believe. I'll be honest, I was going to start The 7 Year Slip last night when I was going to bed. Then the time travel aspect really stressed me out and was like, oh, I'm not gonna like this. So I'm starting this book this morning, actually. It's such a perfect day outside. It's literally a clear sky and we're going to the beach later today, but I thought that, hey, let me get a head start on this book, so that's what we're doing this morning. I'm hoping that this will be like the perfect beach book, but I'm fearing that it's not going to be. As this video says, this is a summer reading video, so we're reading a summery book. I'm realizing just now I don't think that this book takes place during the summer. Also, it's the same author who wrote Every Summer After, so it's no, it's not. No, it's not. It's literally not this. Like, what am I saying? Let's go ahead. Let's start this book. I'm really hoping it's good. Please pray for me to get a 5-star read because I've been in the most massive book slump of my literal existence. I honestly don't know why so much of this book is already resonating with me. I'm only on page 10, but there's a thing that says that you didn't need to worry about Clementine West. She always figured it out. I feel like I resonated with that a lot for some reason. We started and I already got thrown straight into the story, so I feel like I'm already loving this a lot. So this isn't a spoiler. It's literally in the beginning of the book. It's kind of a big part of the story already, but she said, I could keep lying. I could keep pretending I was fine because I was fine. I had to be. I didn't like people worrying about me when they had so many other things to worry about. That was my allure, right? That one I felt deep within my soul, so let's keep reading. The banter in this book is kind of like Emily Henry level. Like, it's like top tier banter in this book. There's a bird chirping at the same time, but the banter in this book is so good. I'm literally starting to like chuckle while reading it. I'm like, that was actually funny. This bird. I'm currently on chapter 11 of this book and I really like it so far. I'm almost 100 pages in and I love all of the characters in this book. I love the 2 main characters like with all of my heart, but even like her friends in this book are really like, I just like them too. So I think I'm really enjoying this book. The storyline is so easy to follow. Like, the concept sounds difficult to understand, but the actual story is really easy to understand. Like, once you're in it, it's really simple and it's like, oh, this like time travel-esque thing isn't really that difficult to understand. And I actually didn't think I would like it because I normally don't like time travel books, but this one is really good and I'm like, I find myself kind of forgetting that it's like time travel-esque. It's not super like magical-esque, which I think that I enjoy because a lot of like time travel books are very like magical realism and I don't like that at all. So I'm thoroughly enjoying this book. I think I'm gonna like binge this today, so we'll see how far we get through it, but I'm at page like almost 100 right now. I'm at page 97, so but we're gonna continue reading this book today. Hello everyone, it is officially officially Monday, the next day of this video, and I actually just finished the 7-year slip. I honestly was only like halfway through when I started reading this today. So I was halfway through the book and I started reading the other half at like 2:30, and it is now 4:18 and I have just now finished this book. So as I was saying before in multiple clips, this book is so bingeable for me. Like, it was such a good book. I think I'm actually going to give this a 5 stars. This single-handedly has brought me out of my book slump. I read this book in 3 days, so I mean that kind of says enough. The way that this book dealt with grief, I screenshotted so many things from this book because I was just like, holy crap, I started crying. It's been a while since a book has made me feel like actual emotions. This is why I love reading. Every single character in this book has my heart, my body, my mind, my soul. Like, they literally, I'm leaving a piece of me in this book because it is so good. Let me read some of the quotes from this book because it was really hitting me. Like, I was like, holy crap, I was out there crying. Quite literally sobbing. It says, "The sadness will last forever. It wasn't a lie. There was sadness and there was despair. There was pain, but there was also laughter and joy and relief. There was never grief without love or love without grief, and I chose to think that my aunt lived because of them. Because of all the light and love and joy that she found in the shadows of everything that plagued her. She lived because she loved, and she lived because she was loved. And what a lovely lifetime she gave us." This next one's a long one. I literally screenshotted the entire page, but it was hitting me like I was getting like run over by a truck. If anyone has ever dealt with grief, this book will hit so hard for you, I swear. It says, "I missed her every day. I missed her in ways I didn't yet understand, in ways I wouldn't find out for years to come. I missed her with this deep sort of regret, even though there was nothing I could have done. She never wanted anyone to see the monster on her shoulder, so she hid it. And when she finally took the monster's hand, it broke our hearts. It would keep breaking our hearts, everyone who knew her, over and over and over again. It was the kind of pain that didn't exist to someday be healed by pretty words and good memories. It was the kind of pain that existed because once upon a time, so did she. And I carried that pain and that love and that terrible, terrible day with me. I got comfortable with it. I walked with it. Sometimes the people you loved left you halfway through a story. Sometimes they left you without a goodbye. And sometimes they stayed around in little ways." Sorry, I need to keep going. I'm gonna start sobbing, but I need to keep going. "And the memory of a musical, and the smell of their perfume, and the sound of the rain, and the itch for adventure, and the yearning for that liminal space between one airport terminal and the next. I hated her for leaving, and I loved her for staying as long as she could, and I would never wish this pain on anyone." I'm literally gonna start crying. Another quote says, "My parents who I said yes to because I loved and didn't want to disappoint them, and I feared I would anyway." Oh! I relate to Clementine so much. I'm so sorry I keep reading quotes, but if you guys aren't gonna read this book, you need to sit and you need to listen. Like, another quote says, "And then this woman whom I didn't know wrapped her arms around me and pressed me tightly into her burnt orange blouse, and it felt like permission. The kind of permission that I'd been waiting for as I sat alone in my aunt's apartment, and grief welled up so high it felt suffocating. The permission I thought I'd given myself, but it hadn't been permission to cry. It had been a command to be strong, to be okay. I told myself over and over I had to be okay. And finally, someone gave me permission to come undone." I'm trying to see if there's any other quotes in here that I want to share because I screenshotted so many, but I also don't want to spoil anything for you guys. Okay, the last quote I'm going to read. It says, "You never commit a mundane moment to memory, thinking it'll be the last time you'll hear their voice, or see their smile, or smell their perfume. Your head never remembers the things your heart wants to in hindsight." I'll stop talking about this book, but it is a 5-star, absolute 5-star, no doubt in my mind. If I could give it more than 5 stars, I would, but we're obviously like stuck in the 5-star category. Like, it was a cute little rom-com, it was comforting, it was heartbreaking, it was like everything all mixed together because like I felt like I was getting hit by a bus and then like also like had a big warm hug. And I don't think that I have any other words to describe it. It was just so good. Please go read it. Okay, on that note, I think we should pick the next book. Okay. Please hold. Big updates for you guys. Guys, I have a major update. So, as we all know, yesterday I finished the 7-year slip, and then I decided that I'm gonna start Just for the Summer as my next book. I got halfway through it yesterday. I was laying in bed watching YouTube, and then I just kept, like, literally, it was like out of a movie. I just kept looking over at the book, and then going back to YouTube, looking over at the book. Like, I feel like I should be reading this right now. I think I started reading it at, like, 10 o'clock at night, and I had stayed up until 2 a.m., and I got, like, halfway through the book. I had 2 to physically like rip myself from this book. I had to be like, okay. I had like a serious conversation with myself in my head yesterday, like, you need to stop reading this book because you're going to finish this whole book tonight and you're not going to be able to even talk about it or get any clips of you reading it. The chances of me getting probably another 5-star read, like, this book is on the trajectory to be a 5-star read. There's no part of this book that is boring me right now. I like all the characters. I like how both of the characters have like their own issues going on. Feels very Emily Henry-esque, where it's like, yeah, sure, it's a little rom-com, but also it's a lot more than that because all these characters in the book have so many things going on in their lives, and it's like, it's just really good. I like how it feels like each of these characters have their own lives going on, because I feel like a lot of little like rom-coms will focus only on the rom-com aspect, and I'm like, no, these people are multifaceted. They have multiple things happening. So anyways, last night I got like halfway through the book and I was like, Bryn, you haven't filmed a singular clip of you reading this book, so you need to stop reading it right now. And then I started reading The Catch by Amy Leah. Why not read both at the same time? Reading it on Kindle instead of reading it on this, because for some reason, like, why is it easier for me to stare at a screen than it is for me to like flip a page in a book? We'll see how far we get into this book today. I think that I want to finish Just for the Summer first before I continue reading The Catch, because reading The Catch is really like making me hate Just for the Summer for some reason. Like, it's just making me hate everything. It'll probably end up being good, but it's just like kind of a weird concept of a book because this girl is an influencer. It's just cringe. I'll leave it at that. But on that note, I'm gonna stop ranting and I'm gonna continue reading Just for the Summer. Oh, I can't wait to finish this book, but I don't want it to end. Heartbreak is one thing, my ego's another. Okay guys, so obviously this is a summer reading video, so I decided for the next book, The Catch, I'm gonna go to the Springs to read this. I was already going to the Springs today and I wasn't gonna go read at all there, but then I was like, you know what? It's a summer book, it's a summer day, it's a summer reading video. I should probably just read at the Springs. So I'm gonna go sit by the water. Obviously we're gonna try to read some of this book. It has been a minute since I have last talked to you guys. I actually went through like a slight little book slump again. I don't know what's going on with me, but the second that I get a book that I don't like, if I try to force myself to read it, I go straight into a book slump. There's no getting out of it. So I was in a book slump for like almost 2 weeks. It's been almost 2 weeks since I filmed the last clip of me at the beach reading The Cat, and I have the book right here. I'm about to give it my rating, but first I do want to say that I feel like I would still recommend this book to people. I feel like a lot of my bad feelings towards this book are just coming from a place from my perspective. I feel like a lot of people would still really enjoy this book. I don't know, I just feel like it lacked a little bit of emotional depth. I really like when books have quotes that I can like highlight and make me feel a sort of way, and this one really didn't have that. I don't know, I just don't love enemies to lovers when it's like the guy is like actually rude. I don't get it. I don't like you, dude. I didn't hate them still at the end of the book, but I still was like, I don't love them. I'm not entirely sure how to feel about this book, and I feel like I would recommend it, but a lot of it was just lacking the emotional depth that I wanted. I feel like in a romance, it's really important to me that there's emotional depth happening. And I feel like while there was some emotional depth, there wasn't enough to keep me like invested and to keep me like, oh, I actually really like these characters and I like them together. I don't know. I didn't really like the characters that much, and I really didn't like them together either. So I ended up actually reading this book on my Kindle because I was like, I can't. It physically pains me to be reading the physical copy. Like, if I'm already putting myself through physical pain to read this book, I might as well add a little bit more of like physical pain of like an eye strain on top of it. Like, that's how I feel. It's my opinion. Okay, I feel like I've been sitting here too long. Let's switch it up. The next book that I'm going to read is The Summer of Broken Rules. I'm actually really excited for this one because even though it's a little bit of a longer book, I feel like I'll get through it pretty fast. I've heard really only good things about this book, so hopefully it's good. Hopefully I enjoy it too. I feel like this isn't going to be a 5 stars, but I'm hoping it'll be like around a 3 or a 4. Like,
I don't know, I'm just not feeling the 5-star feeling already going into it, so that might be an issue for me. And I just also love books that deal with grief, because something about like the way a book can put grief into words that I can't express, that will always get me. And I'm honestly really excited for it because I just feel like it's really like unserious. Like, what do you mean you're playing a family game of assassin? What do you mean there's an alliance and y'all are taking it so seriously, but it's so unserious? Like, look around. Look around at how lucky we are to be alive right now. My inner theater kid just came out. I'm gonna need to reel that back in. Anyways, let's start the Summer of Broken Rules. Okay, first of all, can we like fix my hair? Because I don't know what's going on. It's been a few days since we last chatted, but I've been picking up the camera to film me actually reading this book. I really enjoyed this book. I think I'm gonna give it a 4 stars. I think it's just like a solid 4, no higher, no lower. It just wasn't giving me the 5-star feeling that I was kind of hoping it would. I just feel like this is very YA, so I wasn't vibing with it like the entire time because it was just really hard to wrap my head around the fact that this is a YA novel, and it's also like so unserious, like I was saying in the beginning. It's like this book had some really like heartfelt undertones to it, but I just felt like the whole idea of like the games that were going on, game of assassin that was happening in this book was really fun to follow, and it like kind of sped up the pace of me reading the book. But I genuinely think that like it was just so unserious with like a trying to be really serious undertone to it. Anyways, overall, these are the 4 books that I read in this video. I actually had a really fun time reading, so I think this video was really successful. I got 2 5-star reads. Like, that's all a girl could ask for. I hope you enjoyed watching me read all these books. If I had to pick one book that you should definitely go read, it is going to be The 7-Year Slip. This one just changed my perspective on a lot of things. I wish I could read this book again for the first time. There's not a book that I read in this video that I didn't really like, so like any of these are a good recommendation for you if you're trying to get into some summery rom-com reads for the summer. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love you so much. I'm in a rush. I'm so sorry I can't talk. Sorry I can't talk right now. I'm going to Disney. Stay tuned for the Disney vlog. I hope you enjoyed this video. I love you so much. I will see you guys super soon. Goodbye.